want you to understand what it's like to wake up every morning and be afraid to go to school for 5 years because I didn't want to be called a terrorist. That started when I was 8 years old.
Tragedy at UNC.
Benefits for bikers.
And a century-old tradition celebrated.
All that and more right here on Buckeye News Now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rithika Shah.
And I'm Ariana Bernard. You're watching Buckeye News Now. After a win on the road against Rutgers, the men's basketball team came home to the Shot and defeated Penn State on Wednesday night by a score of 75-55. Our sports director, Hayden Grove, was at the arena and brings you a look into Ohio State's most recent win.
On this very floor just about 1 year ago, Penn State guard DJ Newble hit a shot in overtime to shock the Buckeyes with an upset victory for the Nittany Lions. Well, just about a year later, the Buckeyes made sure that history would not repeat itself as they blew out Penn State by a final score of 75-55.
You know, we weren't talking about last year as much as we were talking about this year. You know, it's a different team, they're a different team. We just wanted to come out and play our best basketball.
While he might have said that last year was a distant memory, Thompson certainly played as if he had retribution for the Nittany Lions on his mind, leading the Buckeyes to victory with a career-high 22 points on the evening.
That was big for us. I was so happy to see the ball going in for Sam. I mean, he puts a lot of time in, and we've kind of been saying if we can get him making some shots, I think it makes us a lot more effective just in terms of our spacing and creating driving lanes, that sort of thing.
Both Thompson and D'Angelo Russell can see the Buckeyes are better when more than a single player can step up offensively, which hasn't been much the case often this season.
I mean, teams can't really key on me if other guys are stepping up and doing what they're good at, just making shots and playmaking. So I mean, it makes the game a lot easier for me.
We know what D'Angelo's gonna do on any given night. We know what he's capable of doing on any given night. We're just that much better when other guys are playing well and when I'm playing well. So it's just something that we got to keep doing, something that I got to keep doing.
Winners of 5 out of their last 6 games, the Buckeyes will next head to East Lansing for a Valentine's Day matinee with the Michigan State Spartans. Until then, for Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
Ohio State will spend an additional $1.6 million a year for students on athletic scholarships starting in July. According to the Wall Street Journal, the NCAA's 5-Power Conference voted last month to offer cost-of-attendance scholarships to student athletes. The additional costs that will be covered include traveling to and from campus, deposits to live in dorms, and miscellaneous expenses such as laundry.
We think it'll be very beneficial to our student athletes to close that gap, that they can be totally self-sufficient if they're on a full scholarship, that they won't need to rely on mom and dad to help them with the entertainment on the weekend or their pizza money or all those type of miscellaneous expenses. They can just focus now on their athletics and focus on their academics.
Buckeye Talent will be promoted this spring with the addition of a new organization on campus. Student Talent Agency Experience, also known as STAY, is a student-run organization that plans to function like a real-world talent agency. Students can apply to be an agent or audition to be a talent. Agents will work with talents in areas of publicity, representation, and performing experience. But what was the inspiration behind STAY?
The inspiration behind STAY, that's what we actually call it, STAY, was just asking what kind of opportunities would help someone who wants to go into the industry. What could they do in college to really gain those skills and things of that nature? So it was very just, how can I create an organization or an opportunity for my students and I that will prepare us for those kind of careers?
STAY is set to officially launch on March 1st. Coming up, campus elevators get an upgrade.
And get ready to bundle up, a cold front is coming in.
Stay with us.
Three students living in Chapel Hill, North Carolina were shot and killed in an apartment near campus Tuesday night. Police are citing a parking dispute with the neighbor as a factor in the murder, but aren't ruling out the possibility of a hate crime. Students at Ohio State held a vigil in their memory at the Ohio Union Wednesday evening.
I desperately need you to grasp what it felt like to be horrified by the Charlie Hebdo attacks, but more horrified because #KillAllMuslims trended on Twitter for days. I need you to realize that Bia Barakat was 23, Yusur Muhammad was 21, and Razan Abu Salah was 19. They were my age. And I'm scared to go to class again.
546. That's how many elevators there are on Ohio State's campus. The university spends $1.6 million on elevator safety and maintenance every year, but a recent Board of Trustees resolution mentions setting aside about $4.5 million to upgrade elevators across campus. This funding will be used to replace or modify elevator systems based on recommendations by industry consultants.
Students who ride their bikes to campus will soon have a new path to choose. Due to high levels of traffic, new bike lanes will be added to 4th and Summit Streets to increase safety for bikers. Lantern TV reporter Amanda Vaughn has more on this story.
Beginning this summer, the City of Columbus will install bike lanes to Summit and 4th Streets, from Hudson to Fulton Street. Included in the construction is a two-way protected bike lane that will run on Summit Street in the University District.
Right now, experienced cyclists do fine riding the roads, but there's a whole audience of people that we often refer to as the bike curious. People who are really interested in using bicycling as a form of transportation, but they get very nervous riding roads with cars. And what the bike lanes, in particular the protected bike lanes, will do is offer an opportunity for people who are nervous about being on the road with cars, some space that is specifically designed just for them.
We were part of a larger process called the Mobility Plan, which was something that the City of Columbus initiated. And they were taking public feedback on the kind of improvements that we wanted to see on the roads. And so we campaigned pretty strongly for having bike lanes on 4th and Summit, or otherwise just sort of making it safer.
On Summit and 4th Street, speed limits are posted as 35, but generally you'll see cars go even faster than that, 40, 45. And that's incredibly unsafe for bicyclists. So we're really excited. Bike OC is really excited about these bike lanes that are coming into play.
We were told by traffic engineers that if you put bike lanes on there and you make the lanes narrower, then the flow of traffic will actually go slower, and overall the whole neighborhood would be more walkable and safe.
The construction is set to be completed by October. For Lantern TV, I'm Amanda Vaughn.
In 1915, the Orton Hall bells rang for the first time on campus. A full century later, students, faculty, and staff celebrated the 100th anniversary of the chimes. In an event organized by the Ohio Staters, members of the Ohio State community were able to go on a tour of the bell tower. Former chimer Sally Blatt said she rang the bells for 12 years, the first time at a 1999 commencement on the Oval.
People, when they come to the bell tower, they write their name, the date on the wall to prove that they have been here. On my last day, when I retired, I came up and I played some songs, and I wrote my name on the wall over here. And then when my daughter graduated from college, we came up and she wrote her name next to mine.
Well, you should enjoy what's left of the warmth today because it's about to get chilly. You might have some hot Valentine's weekend plans, but wind chills are going to dip well below zero.
Our meteorologist John Bangoff says it's going to be the coldest weekend of the year so far. But will it be bad enough to close campus? John?
Rithka and Ariana, unfortunately, while we're going to get this very cold weather, it's going to happen over the weekend, so no chance of any school closings for today. High of 26 degrees, quite deceiving with brisk winds out of the northwest, about 15 miles an hour. Wind chill is going to be in the single digits through much of the day. I expect some snow flurries, but no additional accumulation. For your day tomorrow, much of the same, high of 20 degrees, but wind chills are going to be to -5. The winds continue to pick up as we get closer to the weekend. A few breaks in the clouds, but then on Saturday, one more cold front moves through. Saturday for Valentine's Day, going to be downright miserable. High of 24 degrees. Wind gusts to 35 miles an hour with sustained winds anywhere between 20 and 25 miles an hour. A 1 to 2 inch is of snow accumulation. And then for the day on Sunday up behind this, we start out with wind chills to -20 degrees. High of 7 degrees only for the afternoon, mostly sunny skies. To put it in perspective, last January we had wind chills to -35. So not quite as bad, but Sunday is going to be very, very chilly. Chilly start for the day on Monday, but we recover a little bit up to a high of 24 degrees. I'm meteorologist John Bangoff. Back to you guys in the studio.
Speaking of Valentine's weekend, we usually imagine love as a matter of the heart, but one Ohio State professor breaks down the biochemical process of those warm, fuzzy feelings. Dr. Zachary Wiles spoke at an Honors and Scholars Dinner series to explain what really goes on in our brains when we fall in love.
Love is, or at least the early phases where we're sort of intense feelings of love, are similar to what happens with early exposure to drugs of abuse. Okay? Now, I'm saying this not because, not any kind of moral or ethical thing, but just because the same kinds of neurotransmitters and brain areas get activated.
For more stories on how campus is celebrating Valentine's Day, tune in to the Scarlet Scoop on Lantern TV this Friday.
And that's all we have for you in this episode of Buckeye News Now.
Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.